Hey everyone, welcome back to the channel. Thank you for watching. Again, in today's video, we're going to be working on my TDI Sport Wagon. We're going to be doing a little bit of maintenance today. We're going to be replacing the fuel filter. I replaced it when I first got it over a year ago, and that was about 15,000 miles ago. So they say it's recommended to do it every 15 to 20,000 miles. These are the tools that you're going to need for the replacement. You're going to need a T30 Torx with a ratchet, makes life easier. Flathead, a few pick tools. Gloves, definitely use gloves because you don't want to get any kind of fuel on your hands, anywhere on your body. When you're working with fuel, gasoline, diesel, it's nasty stuff. Wear gloves, and then some paper towel. It's also good to have some rags around, but paper towel will do just fine. We're in the engine bay, so we're going to be working right here. There are 5 T30 Torx bolts, and I recommend you cleaning the top of this fuel filter canister just so that nothing falls into the actual housing. So I'm going to be putting paper towel all around here. I'm going to clean this up a little bit, remove these, and then be able to pull this whole thing out. First, we're going to remove the 5 T30 Torx bolts. It shouldn't be on too tight because not supposed to be too tight when you put it back, so it should come off pretty easy. So now I cover the entire surrounding area with paper towels. Now you want to take the flathead and you're going to pry up the housing for the fuel filter. Now you might get some diesel that pops out. That's completely normal. Just be super careful and make sure to have a bunch of rags or paper towel covering the area so you don't get diesel on everything. And after you pry it up, it should just come out. The filter might be stuck to the actual top part, so you're going to have to pry it off as well. So you could also use your flathead to there we go. There we go. Now this whole part right here is off, and you can see the diesel with the filter still inside. I'm gonna have to pick that out. So you're gonna want to have a bag ready so that you can put the old filter in. So the filter doesn't look too bad. You're going to want to check for any kind of like metal shavings or any metal like particles, any kind of gunk that could be signs of the fuel pump, the high pressure fuel pump going bad. So mine looks pretty good. It isn't as bad as I thought it would be after like 15,000 miles of driving, but it's always a good thing to change it, like I said, every like 15 to 20,000 miles. But this filter looks pretty good. You also want to look into the actual housing itself and see if there's any shavings, any chunks of metal. Mine looks pretty good, really clean in there, so I'm not even gonna have to siphon out this diesel and clean anything up because it is super clean in here. You might have a different situation where you have to maybe siphon this out, clean it up. So mine's pretty good. Now we're gonna throw the new filter in. So next thing you're gonna do is you're gonna pick off the old gasket here. That's what the pick tool is gonna be for. The filter, the new fuel filter, provides you with a new gasket, so you're gonna wanna pick this off and then put a new one in. You could toss this in the same bag that you put the fuel filter in. It should come right off. So here's the old one, and here is the new one. It's a good idea always to get a little bit of like diesel and rub it on the actual gasket itself just to lube it up, and it should go right on pretty easily. So stretch it on there. Oh, let me get this out of the way. Alright, there we go. There we go, like new. So now we got the new gasket in, and now we can put in the actual fuel filter. So here we got the new filter. You're gonna wanna put a little bit of diesel on this ring right here too. So just get a little bit on the glove, get a little bit on here. Then you're gonna wanna take the filter, put it into the housing. Now put it in slow because you don't want to overflow it. So we're going to submerge the new filter in, and we're going to push the top into place. Be careful not to get your paper towel or your rags or anything caught in there, because that could cause an issue. So push this down, bring it back up to make sure it caught. Yes, it did. You can always pull it back up to make sure that the top piece caught onto the filter. So now all we need to do is put the 5 Torx back in, and then for the final step. So you're gonna want to tighten this like you're doing a tire in like a star pattern. Now the torque spec, if I'm not mistaken, is 5 Newton meters, which I don't have a torque wrench that goes that low. So pretty much just get them snug. 5 Newton meters should be like a good, you know, snug by hand fit. So I wouldn't be too worried about the torque spec on that. Just make sure with your ratchet you get it on like nice and tight. So and again, just be wary of the paper towels. You don't want anything to get caught inside the filter in the housing, because that could cause major issues. So new fuel filter is in. So the full mechanical side of taking everything apart and putting it back together is done. So this was pretty much an easy install. Now it comes for the trickier part. We need to prime the fuel system so that we don't burn out the pump, which will be thousands of dollars in repairs if you don't do it the right way. So this is going to be without using a VCTS. Now I know the dealer and people with the right software equipment and whatnot will prime it with a computer and with a cable and whatnot from at the dealer, but I'm going to show you how you could prime your pump without having the software necessary to do it. And this is the way I did it last time, and this is the way a bunch of other people do it when they don't have the software to do it the correct way. So I'll show you that. Alright guys, so this is going to be the final step in the fuel filter install for this maintenance. Now, again, like I said before, typically you want to use a VCDS system software to be able to prime the fuel pump to get all the air out of the system. But I don't have that, and I would say a lot of people doing this at home probably don't have it either, being that this is such an easy maintenance item to do that you could literally do it in 10 minutes. A lot of people aren't going to spend the money to get the kind of software. Now, if you go to the dealer, this is the way they do it. Through the computer, they're able to get all the air out by priming the fuel system. Now, another way you can do it that it's worked for me and has worked for others is key cycling the ignition a few times to get all the air out. So what that'll do is it'll prime the fuel pump and it'll push all the air out of the system. So the way I'm going to do it is this. I'm just going to cycle the key, not actually start the car. So put it onto the accessory position. Hold it, I don't know, for like 10, 15 seconds. Like so. Should be good. Now take the key out again. Do it again. It'll prime up the pump once again. I'm going to do this like 4 or 5 times before actually starting up the car. And on the last time, I'm going to go outside under the hood and make sure that nothing is actually leaking. So I'm going to key this on and off a few more times, and then I'm going to look under the hood to see if we have any leaks. Okay, guys, we're going to check for leaks now. Now, just to be safe, this is like my 7th or 8th time cycling the key. So I'm going to cycle it onto the on position. Let me see if there's any leaks here on the housing. And nope, if you see, let me brighten it up a little bit, there is no diesel, nothing coming out. And you can even hear when the pump kicks on when you have the key cycled. But No, there's no kind of leaks anywhere around, so we should be good to start up the car. All right, guys, so the system is bled. There should be no more air in the system. Everything is primed up. Everything is tight. We're gonna start it up and see how the car responds. So, neutral, clutch in. All right, so we got the car running now. And nope, we're good, guys. No leaks, nothing, no weird noises, no metal on metal, weird sounds, anything. So seems like everything was a success. And also, the great thing is, the check engine light from the install I did with the Diesel Geek bracket for the P2015 code, check engine light still hasn't come back on, and it's been about 100 miles, so that's awesome. Alright guys, so that's going to conclude the video. Thank you for watching. This is a quick, easy, and cheap maintenance thing that you can do. Oh, and I also forgot to mention, I used a Mann filter. I will put the link for the Mann filter in the description. I bought it from Napa. I ordered it through them. It took one day for them to get it in the store. So that's really cool. Maybe if you don't want to wait for, like, for example, ECS or something like that to ship it out to you and you want it day of or the next day, you can order through Napa. So I will put a link in the description of where I ordered it from. It was like $30-something, which is not too bad, and Mann is a really good brand. But anyways, guys, hopefully you enjoyed the video. Hopefully this helped you guys out, save some money, so you don't have to take the car to the dealership or an independent shop to do the work for you. It is super simple with a bunch of basic hand tools. It should take you no more than like 10 minutes to do it, and it beats taking the car somewhere and spending probably double, triple the money that you would just buying the part and doing it yourself. But please like, comment, and subscribe. It lets YouTube know that I'm doing a good job, and I'll see you guys next time. Have a good day.